welcome to the deep dive. We received a really fascinating account from you, one of our listeners.
Oh, yeah. What's this one about?
It's a personal story written down about a possible paranormal event. And it happened right as they were moving out of a home they described as, well, let's say it had a history, a spirited home.
Ah, okay. Moving day. That's often a trigger point, isn't it?
Seems like it here. So our mission today is just to, unpack this specific incident, really look at the details.
Sounds good. The timing itself is interesting. Leaving a familiar place, especially one with a reputation, that disruption alone can be significant.
For sure. It could stir things up, maybe practically, maybe,
Yeah.
in other ways.
Exactly. So what actually happened in this incident?
Right, so the listener and their husband were asleep,
Mm.
middle of the night, presumably.
Okay.
And bam, the bedroom door slams open, not just creeps open, slams. They said, and this is a quote, literally like a person kicked our door as hard as they could.
Whoa. Okay, that's violent. Not subtle at all. That would jolt anyone awake.
Totally. And their immediate reaction, both of them just shot right up in bed.
Expecting to see someone there, I bet. Or maybe the dog.
Exactly. Looking for an intruder, or, maybe the dog acting weird. That immediate instinctive threat assessment.
Makes sense. Fight or flight kicking in. So what did they see?
Well, that's the thing. It was dark. Not like pitch black. They could make out shapes maybe, but
Yeah.
nobody.
Nobody there.
No person, no dog in the doorway. Nothing visible.
But they felt something. Sometimes that happens.
Oh, yeah. They described this really intense feeling, quoting again, felt like someone was standing at the end of our bed ready to attack.
That's terrifying. Seeing nothing but feeling that's a powerful primal fear.
Definitely. That feeling of being watched, especially when you feel vulnerable in the dark.
It's deeply unsettling. So what do they do next? Just stay in bed?
No. After the initial shock, they got up again, this time with a flashlight.
Right. Gotta investigate. Find the rational explanation.
They searched the room thoroughly. Checked the door, the windows, under the bed, the usual spots.
And the key finding was?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No draft that could have slammed the door with that much force.
Yeah.
No sign of entry. No physical cause they could find.
Okay, so the physical explanation is, for now, off the table. What else was going on?
Well, this is where it gets maybe even weirder. The pets. They had a dog and cats.
Okay. Did they react?
They weren't even in the bedroom, which was unusual. Normally they'd sleep in the room with them, or at least nearby.
Where were they?
They found them all huddled together out in the living room.
That is strange. A definite break from their normal routine, especially at bedtime.
Yeah. You have to wonder, did the animals sense something earlier? Did whatever happened scare them out of the room?
Animals definitely perceive things differently than we do. Their senses are, different. A sudden change in their behavior, especially clustering together like that, it often means something spooked them. Adds another layer, doesn't it?
It really does. And this whole experience, it wasn't just a quick scare that faded.
Yeah. Lingering effects.
Yeah, the listener mentioned getting a serious case of goosebumps and the feeling of being glared at, and that it took a really long time to shake that feeling off.
So a lasting emotional and, physical impact, not just a jump scare.
Exactly. It stuck with them. And interestingly, they also mentioned they have more experiences from that house. Said something like, if I ever get the time, I'll write out some more.
So this wasn't necessarily an isolated event in the grand scheme of things, just a particularly dramatic one during the move.
Seems that way. It's just a bigger picture, maybe.
Okay, so let's sort of bring the pieces together for this specific incident. We have a bedroom door slamming open with incredible force.
Right, waking them instantly.
Then this intense feeling of a hostile presence right there in the room.
Even though they couldn't see anyone.
Followed by an investigation that turns up zero physical explanation.
Yep. Door mechanism, fine. No drafts, nobody hiding.
And crucially, the pets behaving very unusually found outside the room when they should have been inside.
All happening during the stress and disruption of moving out of a house already considered haunted.
It's a compelling collection of details.
It really is. And look, we always say this, personal experiences are just that personal, subjective. How someone interprets this could vary wildly.
Absolutely. What feels undeniably real and paranormal in the moment can sometimes have or seem to have other potential explanations when viewed later or by others. Stress, expectation.
True. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you, the listener who shared this.
Yeah, something to chew on. Could the sheer stress and the emotional weight of leaving that particular house have sort of primed you, heightened your sensitivity to things you might normally dismiss?
Or does the specific combination here, the extreme force on the door, that specific feeling of threat, the animals reacting, point to something genuinely outside our usual explanations?
Maybe it speaks to the idea that places themselves can hold something energy, influence. Especially during times of transition, it's a fascinating account to consider.